Hi everyone, this is Fortnon from Superuser Projectile. Today I'm going to show you how to speed up your Windows 10 computer. First of all, this is a software tutorial, so there are hardware upgrades that you can do to your computer, such as adding an SSD and making out the boot drive and adding more RAM, but this is focusing on Windows 10, the software. So let's get right to it. So the first thing that you want to do is clean out temporary files. So press Windows R on your keyboard and type temp. This will bring up this window, so you just do Ctrl A to select all and delete those. If it asks you for administrator permissions, you just click do this for all current items and continue. If you are not the administrator, you would want to skip that. If it gives you this error, you just skip those. Okay, so now what you want to do is Windows key R again, but now you want to put percentage symbols on both sides of temp. Go there and repeat the same process. Okay, so the next thing is disabling startup apps. So right click in an empty spot on the taskbar and go to Task Manager, go to Startup, and then you can disable these. So anything that you don't use that is not essential to the system, you can disable. So don't disable, like for example, this is Audio Manager. Don't disable things like that, but if you don't use Cortana, you can disable Cortana. And even if you do, it will just take a little longer to start up if you disable it, so it's not that big of a deal if you just use it occasionally. So just disable anything that you don't need starting up with Windows. Okay, now move on to our next thing. Okay, now let's disable Windows Metro background apps. So go to Windows I for settings, and now you want to type background apps. Now you want to just switch off anything that you don't need running in the background. So you might want to leave things like alarms and clock, mail and calendar, and just things like that. If you want automatic updates for Microsoft Store, you can leave that on, but just disable anything that you don't need running in the background. And if you just want to disable everything, you can just toggle these off right here. Okay, now our next thing. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is an optional step. It has some impact on system experience, so it's disabling visual effects. So the first thing that you want to do is head over to your search bar and type adjust the appearance and performance of Windows. You can just start typing that, you don't need to type the whole thing. Open that, and so you want to do adjust for best performance if you'd like, and then do smooth edges of screen fonts and show thumbnails instead of icons. You can do more if you want, but these just leaves on a couple things that are useful features. So now okay. Now the next thing, head over to your search bar and type transparency. Click on show transparency in Windows and toggle that off. Okay, now time for another tip. So you go to your search bar and type tips. Click on Get Tips, Tricks, and Suggestions as you use Windows. Now turn off these, and if you'd like, you can turn off these. Now this is tips, so this takes away from user experience slightly, but it's not really that big of a deal. It's just tips occasionally when you use Windows. It just turns that off. Now also for these, what you want to do is go to Start Settings in Settings and toggle off Show Suggestions occasionally and Start. Okay, so now it is time for disk cleanup, so head over to your search bar and type disk cleanup. Now click Run as Administrator. Just run as a normal user if you cannot. Okay, so now check all of these if you'd like, but you can leave Recycle Bin unchecked if you have important things in there. Now click OK. Delete files. Okay, next tip. So press Windows R on your keyboard and type msconfig. Now go to Services and check Hide all Microsoft Services. And uncheck anything that you don't need, such as like these Adobe Update Services, Brave Update Service, Dropbox Update Service. the different update services, I would recommend leaving Intel stuff unless you know it can be disabled, and leave other things such as audio service, anti-malware, stuff like that, Wi-Fi. Now click OK, and it will ask you if you want to reboot. Most likely you can reboot then or later, just make sure you have everything saved. Okay, so the next thing, we will remove software that we don't need. So go over to your search bar and type add or remove programs. Now on anything that you don't need, just click it and click uninstall. Go through that process. Okay, the next step is only if you have a hard drive, but it is to defragment your drive. So you go to here and type defrag. Now I am on a solid state drive, so I cannot do this, or I shouldn't do this anyway. But if you are on a hard drive, you can analyze it and then optimize it. Windows also does this automatically. Okay, so the last tip is obvious, but it's still one that you should do. Restart your PC. So when your PC is on, it accumulates temporary files. You can clean those out using these methods, but a lot of them are just cleaned out when you restart. So if you just restart your PC, then you can enjoy better performance. So that is it for today. Until next time, we will see you next time. Subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.